What's up, everybody? Thralls Metal here once again. I'm Necrotic.
I'm Jammin.
And we have yet another album review for you, and one that I wanted to go over just because I jammed the last one and I thought it was pretty decent, and I was kind of curious where they would go from there. Sometimes it's just that simple. Either way, we are going to go over the latest offering from Malevolence, where only the truth is spoken. This also comes out on the 20th of June on Nuclear Blast Records. This band formed in 2010 in England. This is their fourth album overall. Again, I went over their last album, Malicious Intent, in a collection update. I thought it was pretty decent, and basically I'm describing this band like it's metallic hardcore with like a lot of groove metal, like a lot of like 90s groove metal kind of woven in there. It's heavy. It's chuggy. It's, got some solid grooves, because if it didn't, I couldn't really call it groove metal at all.
I never heard of these guys until today, and this is yet another band where I've never heard of them, but I've heard of them before. When I say that I have heard it, I mean it reminds me of a ton of bands that I was into. We were trying to do the math upstairs from ages 14 to 23. That's pretty much where this record sits. And that's not a terrible thing, because long ago, when I was 14 to 23, also long ago, I was heavily into the bands that sound like this band. And those bands would be things like Unearth, and to this day I'm still a fan of Unearth. Kanai, Chimera, Pantera, Killswitch Engage, Cataract, Early Fit for an Autopsy. Like, there's just a bunch of stuff in here that I really loved long ago.
Yeah, this band's sound is, I would admit, like kind of a clever balance of like good, scathing, heavy, metallic hardcore, a lot of groove, a lot of syncopation, a lot of chug.
Lots.
And, good hardcore vocals, gang vocals, stuff like that. And then, like, very, like, 90s, maybe some 2000s, like, groove metal, stuff that's kind of similar to, again, Pantera. There's definitely moments in here that remind me of, like, Machine Head. Not, like, the last album, thankfully. But it has kind of like a Machine Head-like formula to some of these songs. And again, like there's a interesting balance and kind of a flip-flop throughout this entire album. Like the first two tracks on here, Blood of the Leech and Trenches, are both just vicious, like metallic hardcore bangers. Groove-laden as hell, chuggy as hell. I mean, they're all about like kind of that Hatebreed and like Earth Crisis kind of chugathon. It sounds biting. It's relentless on the drum work, where it's like constantly just beating you over the head with like killer breakdowns. They love to halftime shit, and like as soon as a hardcore kid hears the halftime part, like, oh shit, this is the part where I have to punch my buddy. Hopefully he'll still give me a ride back after the show. But as this album went on, the groove metal aspect really started to come out. And this band has two vocalists. They have their main vocalist, their frontman, and then their guitarist does clean vocals. And this guy has like the voice of like, he's almost like an amalgamation of like groove metal vocals. Like you kind of have that tough, gruff sound. And this band is from the UK. And I constantly have to remind myself of that, because there's like some very American tropes, and one of them are these clean vocals, because they sound gravelly, a little bit like bluesy at times too.
Just reminds me of the crooning that Rob Flynn tried to do over the years. And now don't get me wrong, there were times in Rob Flynn's career where it was decent. But this guy reminds me a lot of that, mixed with a little bit of like Phil Anselmo and I don't know, I mean, I hate to say it, but a little bit of Five Finger Death Punch. I hate to say it.
I hate to say it too. Like, I mean, it is kind of that delivery. It's also kind of comparable to like, all right, Jimmy Josta's cleans, like whenever they popped up in Hatebreed, which wasn't that often, but if you listen to like Kingdom of Sorrow, they popped up a little bit more frequently there, and he kind of has like, again, like kind of a gruff, semi-tuneful vocal delivery. Like, I don't listen to Hatebreed songs for the clean vocals. Never have.
I don't either.
Never will. I want Jimmy Just to yell, positive affirmations at me and tell me that I can do it, just, violently. And admittedly, I think if they were used a little bit less, I probably wouldn't like bring them up as much, because, I mean, frequently you have moments where they kind of overlap the harsh vocals and the clean vocals, and you get something a little bit more tuneful, but it still sounds very authoritative, like it's just being belted out in front of you. And, again, when it comes down to just the hardcore vocals, dude's just got it. Like, he's just got that, nasty delivery where it just sounds like everything that he's yelling out there are fucking fighting words. Like, the isolated fucking growl at the beginning of Trenches. Like, isolation's a big thing in metallic hardcore, at least in my opinion. You isolate a riff, you are warning the crowd that the breakdown's coming. You isolate a vocal thing, that means you're fucking talking to the crowd and you're getting them fucking hyped up. And that shit works. But it's the give and take with the 90s groove metal stuff that I picked up on that, I don't know, I feel like sometimes it kind of works, and then other times it just kind of becomes like a little bit off-putting. Like, if it's all the same to you, which it is because it sounds kind of like Pantera, you get southern rock riffs, but you also get like big beefy breakdowns, and it's a weird kind of contrasting energy, especially when you get down the chorus, because again it has this gruff southern draw to it, and again, this band's from the UK, it just feels kind of odd, like all of a sudden they kind of shifted from like Hatebreed and Earth Crisis to Pantera and Lamb of God, and even throw in like a slam at the end. So some of these things feel like they kind of like run into one another.
They do have good breakdowns. All throughout this record, every breakdown they had was pretty banging. Especially in So Help Me God. That big triplet chug breakdown was downright nasty, and then the Hawk 2 at the end really sent it for me.
Not like the Hawk 2, like spit on that thing. They were spitting on you.
Yes.
You're that thing. Ugh. Sorry.
But that song overall, So Help Me God, actually seemed pretty well focused. This band is kind of transition happy, we noticed from time to time, and So Help Me God, it seems like they had it all like put together. It had a decent melody to it. It had a lot of like chuggy gallop moments to it. The breakdown was killer. Like the song flowed together very nicely. It was a very well thought out, cohesive thing.
Yeah, like good thrashy moments in there. The transitions on that song worked in particular. And it didn't like overdo one thing, or at least, overdo the one thing that I was less of a fan of. Because all the hardcore oriented songs in here are the ones that really lean into that just chuggy, syncopated, mean old school style that I still love to fucking death. Those are the ones that really stood out to me. Like In Spite and Demonstration of Pain, two of the closing tracks on here, absolutely vicious. In fact, In Spite actually features Randy Blythe in a very Randy Blythe section of the song. In fact, a section that reminded me is like, man, I would like to hear Lamb of God do something this heavy again. The song's got a good hardcore build up, like you get the floor tom accents, dude shouting his guts up, you can feel the energy, like very Hatebreed. Like, yeah, I'm ready to go, let's do this, tell me I can do the thing well, Jamie. Or whatever your name is. And when it transitions into what I thought was the chorus, it's this really cool syncopated chuggy gallop. Like it's just got a good punch to it. Dude's again growling his guts out. And then it makes a sudden transition into what the actual chorus was, which was a clean chorus. And all right, again, if this was used more sparingly, I might not have had an issue with it, but a lot of these songs started featuring clean choruses, and they really felt very like interchangeable at times, and at points like really just didn't belong at all. And this was definitely one of them, because this song was energetic, it was fucking mean-spirited, it didn't need like a reflective, intimate moment of like contemplation or melody or anything like that. It just needed to be vicious. And Randy comes in again swinging. He sounds awesome. I mean, that dude's always got killer vocals.
He sounds like he did back in the days of like As the Palaces Burn and Ashes of the Wake. Like it just had that kind of punch to it that Lamb of God used to have.
But in spite of the clean chorus, I know, I'm super clever. I enjoyed the energy on that song.
Yeah,
It was vicious. Same thing with Demonstration of Pain, which honestly might be the heaviest track on the album. There are no clean vocals on it, and you get a lot of these like glitchier, spazzier transitions. Like there's some moments on there that kind of remind me lightly of like Coalesce or like Converge a bit. The squawky alarm clock riffs, but you still get the ones that are like distinctly the more like just squealies and shit.
And Dirt From My Grave had roughly the same kind of feel to it. Like really cool riffs, back to the Unearth intensity. I got some vibes from like early Bleeding Through going on in there, and that was really cool. And to have that kind of intensity back, like, I didn't really mind the clean chorus in that song, because the overall vibe of the song was, again, punchy and in your face and mean and kind of pissed off.
But when they try to, like, balance out the groove metal and the metallic hardcore and maybe start favoring groove metal more, that's where it kind of loses me. Like, If It's All the Same to You, I think is an all right song. Like, it definitely screams a single. I will admit they got some Pantera flash in those riffs. They're catchy. Even the leads on here are really solid. But when you get down to songs like Salt the Wounds, Imperfect Picture, Heaven's Shake, that's where it kind of just, it kind of gets into like cheesy territory. Mm-hmm. And again, like a very U.S. sound, like a very American sound, but it's like that, like kind of like cheesy, like, you know, dude's not wearing a metal shirt, he's wearing like a shirt with a wolf and an eagle and an American flag. And you're like, oh, not that. Salt the Wound is almost a ballad. Like it's kind of half in the ballad. Like it's got like softer Pantera vibes, softer Machine Head vibes. You get clean guitars. The melody itself isn't bad, but then you get the gruff, like very Americanized, you know, vocals. And I don't know. Like it just doesn't work for me. The rest of the song though, like when it kicks in the chorus, it's heavier than shit. Great fucking riffs on there. It's chuggy, it's mean again, and then it sinks back into ballady territory, and it was like, man, like this feels like it's trying too hard to be a single in the 90s. Mm-hmm. Imperfect Picture, the way it starts, you think you're getting ready for like a big hardcore banger. Like it's just leading in, it's doing the classic hardcore build up, you know, floor toms, it's got the energy welling up, and then it gets into this kind of groove metal bounce. It's not bad overall, but then you get this give and take between the gruff cleans and the harsh vocals, and it feels just a little bit off. Like, honestly, it reminded me of when Throwdown decided to abandon hardcore kind of altogether and do, like, I would call it kind of butt rock. But the weirdest part about that song, and it's just an odd transition, is there's a disgustingly heavy slam in the middle of the song. And I was like, man, is this where the song turns the page and gets, like, really interesting? No, it just shows up, it makes itself known, it fucking kicks over a coffee table, and then it just, you know, flicks you off and leaves. I mean, I've had friends do that, you know, they're not invited back.
Yeah, no, they can't come back.
But, yeah, like, it's just kind of out of nowhere, and then it goes back to the rest of the song, and, you know, we brought up, like, the transition happy stuff, like, there's just transitions and dynamics on here that occasionally just don't make sense. Like Counterfeit. Overall, don't really mind the song. I was pleasantly surprised that it was not a Limp Bizkit cover. The song overall, like, it starts off really well. It's got this muffled start, and then it just kind of goes to town on the syncopated riffs. There's even a fun transition to the lead where he does the, you know, 3-2-1 count or something like that. I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. And, you know, the song is overall pretty solid. Yeah, there are some clean vocals that I just thought didn't fit in there, but it's the end of the song. The end of the song is kind of strange because it sharply cuts off where it should have. Like, it felt like a natural end. But then there's, like, this couple extra chugs at the end. And that's like fucking with hardcore kids. Mm-hmm. Because, again, I bring up isolation. Because when you isolate a chug, that is the signal. That is the dinner bell to any fucking pit karate motherfucker to, like, wait, hold on. I just put down this chair that I was going to throw and save for the next song, but do I need to pick it back up and throw it for this song now? Are we teasing the beginning of the next song? Do I need to rethrow chairs? I'm confused. It's just like this weird little extra bit on the end that just feels like it should have been edited out.
Or like the tag on the end of a riff or something. Like, it was weird because it even had the build-up with it. It even had the China symbol. And, like, to me, that says another breakdown is coming. And I was all set up for it. And then it ended. And I looked at Nick and I said, what the fuck?
Yeah, this album is definitely a mixed bag. And, like, this was kind of my issue with the last one, too, is, you know, sometimes the groove metal elements, I don't know. For me, that just hasn't aged as well. But, again, I love solid metallic hardcore. And, you know, when it comes down to that aspect of their sound, I think they're really fucking good. So I'm kind of torn with this one. Because I don't think it's necessarily bad, but there are parts in here that I feel like they just don't land. Mm-hmm. And it isn't as though, like, the clean choruses really generate, like, big hooks, like big memorable hooks.
Yeah. I mean, we're not talking Kill Switch here by any means. Like, it's just like, all right, you can sing, that's cool. But they do it in, like, 8 out of the 11 songs, and it doesn't always fit every time, and you're just like, I could kind of do without this. And especially as heavy as some of the songs are that they put the clean chorus in, it's almost like the chorus kind of kills the momentum, because you hear it and you're like, God damn it, and then it kind of ruins the vibe of the song, and I'm like, all right, whatever, cool.
But I wouldn't say, like, the clean vocals completely ruined the songs that they were on. They just, you know, were okay at best, and other times just like, whatever. But every song was chock full of riffs, solid breakdowns. In fact, the breakdown transitions in particular, I thought were really solid. Me personally, I would have traded all of the clean vocals on here for gang vocals. Like, just echo all the shit the frontman's saying, sound mean, sound fucking like you want to start a fight, and that's kind of home for me in terms of like hardcore. But yeah, overall with this one, I'm gonna give it 3 stars. I like a lot of the aspects in here, namely the metallic hardcore aspects. I think they do that really well. Production on here, I think, is pretty solid. It's, pretty clean overall, but it sounds good. I just kind of wish it kind of stayed more focused on the metallic hardcore because, again, like the groove metal elements, for me, they just haven't aged as well. Like, I don't even have, like, the nostalgic urge for, like, a lot of 90s groove metal. Like, most of the time, it's a lot of the same bands in terms of that style that I listen to, like, like Prong and Pantera and, shit like that. Machine Head's a little bit harder to listen to these days, just because of that last one. But, yeah, like, the metallic hardcore aspect, I feel like there's, like, vibrance in there. Like, that's where the songs are the most energetic. Like, you hear them really go off. Like, Demonstration of Pain, Trenches, Blood of the Leech. Dude, these songs absolutely whoop ass. And like I said, the clean vocals don't always ruin it. It's just like an aspect that I liked a little bit less, and I don't feel like they kind of generate like the biggest hooks. And if you're going to do clean vocals, metallic hardcore, I think they gotta be there for the hooks. But yeah, if you're a big fan of like Earth Crisis, Hatebreed, Killswitch Engage, Lamb of God, Pantera, Chimera, it's kind of a mishmash of different stuff there. Check this one out, give it a whirl. Pretty decent.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree. It's a 3 from me as well. They're not reinventing the wheel here, but they are kind of paying homage to a lot of great bands. I don't think that was their intention, per se. But, like, a lot of this, again, sounds like stuff that I used to love when I was younger than we are now. It's riffy and it's groovy. There's a lot of aspects, for me personally, with music like this that doesn't necessarily jive with me as much as it used to. Like, don't get me wrong, I like all the bands that we've mentioned, but like, even nowadays, like, we've got Unearth playing in the background here. Like, I haven't gone back and listened to Unearth in a while, nor have I gone back and listened to Chimera in a while. I won't necessarily turn off Pantera if it's on, but like, for me, this was cool. It was decent, but it's nothing I haven't heard before. Nonetheless, I mean, it's recorded well. The guitars snarl. I was pretty happy about that. There are a few excellent songs on here that definitely hit really hard. This band knows how to write a breakdown, and that's really great. It's groovy, it's heavy, and if you like those things and any of the bands we mentioned, check it out for yourself.
So, if you enjoyed this review, give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to the channel, subscribe, because we do stuff like this all the time. We also have memberships. They are only 99 cents, and our Lone Perk is doing a members-only live stream, which we will figure out a time to do that. We just got to kind of get schedules aligned, plus we're trying to like get some bigger videos shot and such, but we're going to get one done this month. Anyway, membership is the main way to support the channel, and there is a join button down below if you'd like to join up and witness us do stupid stuff on the live stream, just giggle about all sorts of dumb, immature shit. Not tremendously different than our usual live streams, but you get to be a member on it.
Yep, you get to comment. You get a booger troll. We downplay the booger troll, you guys. Not every channel offers, in fact, no channel, to my recollection here, offers a booger troll. We offer that.
We've cornered the market on booger trolls.
We really have, and some other fun emojis to match our dumbness, because that's where we're at. But anyway, even if you don't hit that button, tons of stuff coming your way: album reviews, discography rankings, live streams that are not members' live streams. We often have guests pop in now and again, so that's cool. Nick's Never-Ending Collection updates. Tons of various segments. We got our new segment, the greatest hits of the Thralls, or whatever the hell it's called. Thralls Greatest Hits. I don't know. It goes in tandem with the rankings. We're about to do At the Gates next. So yeah, tons of stuff coming your way. All metal, all the time. We do it all for you guys. Thank you for being a part of this.
Yeah, you guys absolutely rule. Tons of content coming your way. So one more big thank you, because you guys do in fact rule, because I said so, and it's on the internet now. Therefore, it is true.
True.
So yeah, take that. And also, take care.